Hey guys, welcome to Potato Reads Reddit. I'm Potato, and today we have 4 great stories for you guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and that notification bell too if you feel like it, and let's get right into the stories. Our first story is from Kedge299. Am I the asshole for feeling hurt that I found out I'm less healthy than my girlfriend? My girlfriend is active and loves skiing, hiking, climbing, and other outdoor sports, but never goes to the gym. She goes to the climbing gym a few times a month, but that's it, and is basically a weekend warrior type. She doesn't go to the gym because she thinks it's not as fun. I work out 4 to 5 days a week for 1 to 2 hours and have a very healthy eating regimen of low carb and high protein. My girlfriend eats healthy but buys whatever is on sale and doesn't count macros or anything. I have talked to her about being more serious about her diet for better performance, but she's convinced her way is better. Anyway, we decided to put it to the test, and we went for body fat testing. We did hydrostatic water weighing, very accurate, at the local university, and had a bet that the fitter person gets $100. I know women have more body fat naturally, so we were going off a body fat chart by gender and not percentage. We got the results back, and I felt kind of humiliated because she actually had less body fat than me. She had 17% body fat, and I had 19%. I can't believe it because it puts her in a very lean category and me in the fair category. I look lean, but apparently I'm not. She proceeded to brag about how I talk like I know stuff when I should actually lose body fat, and brought up every time I've brought up eating healthier to her. I let her have her victory until she kept doing it for over 2 weeks, telling friends what we did when I told her not to tell anyone. I lost my temper when she told our mutual friend, and he started laughing at me, saying it was ironic since I like to brag about how healthy I am. We had a fight after we left our friend's house, where I told her to never talk about my health in the company of other people, and she countered that I had no trouble talking about it when I thought I was lean. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might be the asshole for having enough of listening to her victory when we found out she was more fit than me. Yeah, OP, you're an asshole, and your girlfriend is kind of an asshole as well. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with everybody sucks here. You guys sound insufferable. I'm not even going to expand on that. The two of you just sound terrible to spend time around, so I'm gonna leave it at that, and we'll move on to the comments from the post. NKDeco7 says, "You're the asshole. You were up her ass for what sounds like months about this, and apparently had zero issues bringing up her being less healthy in front of other people. This is called karma, and you deserve all of it coming to you. By the way, the fact that your friend laughed at you should tell you that you are probably that really annoying guy that no one can really stand when they start talking about their gym routine." Urbear048 says, "I feel like unless someone is severely unhealthy or hurting themselves with their diet somehow, people should mind their business." She told him that she wasn't interested in going to the gym or following his diet, and he kept persisting, saying it would help her performance. Unless you're a bodybuilder, I don't think counting macros is necessary. You're the asshole. Dr. Fish Taco says, "You're the asshole. You sound insufferable." Hey, that's what I said. "You've badgered her your entire relationship about this, and she gives you a taste of it back, and you flip out and turn into a control freak?" Unlucky Disc 3225 says, "Of course you're the asshole. You mansplain fitness to somebody who is very healthy, and she should continue to tease you about it until you grow up." Wendell Porcupine says, "You're the asshole. You're the asshole for trying to shame a healthy person about her diet and habits. You're the asshole for pushing for this stupid competition. You're the asshole who deserved all the stuff you got." Lincris says, "You're the asshole, and sound completely obsessed to the point where you nagged your obviously very healthy girlfriend about her eating habits. What does this level of obsession bring to your life? Is it making you happy? The point of life is not being the leanest, and the point of a relationship is definitely not trying to compete for the least amount of body fat. This does not sound healthy in the slightest." Alright guys, that's it for that story and comments. Why don't you let me know what you thought down in the comments below, and we will move on to the next story, which is posted by a throwaway account. Am I the asshole for getting upset with my husband after he told me nothing will change while I am pregnant? Throwaway account. So me, 26 female, and my husband, 28 male, who I'll call Jake for this story, have been together for 5 years and married for 3. We have recently started trying for a baby as we both felt like that was the next step in our life together, and 3 weeks ago I got a positive test back. We were really happy and told our families, and now my mom and mother-in-law want to throw a big baby shower for us. It was just super good news all around. Well, 2 nights ago, me and Jake were getting ready for bed when he reminds me to go through the house and make sure all the lights are off. Now, he can be a little lazy at times, and it has become a nightly routine for me to make sure all the lights are off that he leaves on before we go to bed. I wasn't feeling very well and asked if he could just do it since he wasn't doing anything and was literally standing by the door. He then tells me, no, this is what is expected of you every night. I was a little hurt, but I didn't want to fight with him, so I just did it. When I came back, Jake goes on this very long and unprovoked rant saying things like, just because you are pregnant does not mean anything will change, and you are still expected to cook, clean, and do all the chores every day because how can you be expected to be a mother if you can't handle a little work? He wasn't yelling or anything, he was talking to me quietly like I was 2 inches tall. I was shocked because I had never heard him say anything like this. The rant went on for about 30 minutes before I interjected and asked, well, what do you plan on doing to help me with all of this? He then got extremely defensive, saying he works his ass off at his job to provide for me and what is going to be our future children. For context, I don't work at the moment. My job was not paying enough to justify me going, so I am a full-time college student. He ended by saying that it doesn't matter how I feel physically or mentally. It's a mother's job to push through, and if he helped and babied me, I wouldn't be a good mother. I got extremely upset and started yelling, and I said that I wish I would have known this is how you felt before I got pregnant with your baby. There was a moment of silence before he started crying, and he left for the night to stay at his mother's house. He hasn't been back yet, and my mother-in-law and sister-in-law have called me berating me and saying I broke Jake's heart with what I said and I need to apologize immediately, and until I do, he isn't coming home. I don't know how to feel. So, am I the asshole for yelling at my husband after he said he isn't helping me with anything during the pregnancy because it's a mother's job to deal with it? And as you can see, once again, the mods have locked this thread due to excessive rule breaking. So there's no, little thing about why OP thinks they're the asshole. So OP, that's just straight up an abusive relationship. Everything that you're describing is just, toxic. He ran to his mother's house and he's not coming back. I say, good riddance. Divorce him and raise the kid on your own, put it up for adoption, terminate the pregnancy, whatever you need to do to have a fulfilled life and not be traumatized, and move on, because that's not something you need in your life. Go talk to your mother about this, by the way. Your mom will have some insight into what, you should do and what she thinks you should do. It's ridiculous, the idea that you would run to mommy and your sister to protect you against your big, mean, pregnant wife. What an asshole. So yeah, not the asshole OP in any way, shape, or form. He's not coming back, good riddance, and move on. And that's where my mind is on this, so yeah. Alright guys, we're going to move on to the comments from the post. Administrative Fee 153 says, girl, get a termination and a divorce ASAP. This man just told you who he really is, and things are about to get a whole lot worse. Run. Harley's Bronson says, I had the same thought but didn't want to say it. Co-parenting with someone this toxic would be a nightmare. The Red Jester 45 says, oh, so he won't baby you, but he'll run back home crying to mommy because you called him out on his BS? Wow. Just wow. I think you can salvage this if you stand your ground. If not, I'm so sorry, not the asshole. Another user says, absolutely, this guy wants his pregnant partner to push through, because otherwise she won't be a good mom, but he can't even have his wife say anything negative before running to his mom and sister? Informal Finding 9165 says, you're in an abusive relationship. He's wrong. Things will change. For the worse. Men are often more abusive during a woman's pregnancy because they can't control the pregnancy itself. Not the asshole, but you need to run. 80s lady says, yep, and he waited until she was pregnant and in too deep to let the mask drop. And OP has provided us a little update in the form of an edit, so I'm going to read that now. First, I want to thank you all for your responses. I'm sorry I haven't really responded to anyone specifically, but I really do appreciate you guys. A few of you asked if I told my mother-in-law and sister-in-law what he said, which I did. They basically said I was being sensitive, and all he meant was pregnancy isn't an excuse to be lazy. He meant no harm. Okay, I am getting some things together and am going to be headed to my mom and dad's house. My mom is furious with him and doesn't want me apologizing to him or even talking to him without the situation either being recorded or having a witness. Regardless, I am okay and will be okay. I do appreciate all of you though. You have opened my eyes to many things I may have been ignoring or looking past over the years. Alright guys, that's it for that story. Why don't you let me know what you thought down in the comments below, and we'll move on to the next one, which was posted by PartReal8256. Am I the asshole for telling a dietitian that his advice about weight loss is useless? My husband has been pestering me about losing weight lately. What is it with men doing that? Stop doing that, guys. You're making us all look bad. I have gained around 4 kg during the pandemic due to the fact that I work more and honestly I have no time or energy to work out anymore. For context, I'm a doctor. I have been with my husband for 5.5 years and we're both 28. He has mentioned that he wants me to lose some weight as he finds my legs too thick and he isn't attracted to my body since I gained weight. I have struggled with disordered eating in the past, but I have been athletic my whole life so I know how to lose weight. Despite having gained some weight, I'm still at a normal weight for my height. Last week I had some friends over and one of my husband's friends is a dietitian. Apparently my husband had spoken to him about my struggle with weight loss and he felt like giving me unsolicited advice in front of everyone at the table in my own house. He started saying I should be eating a caloric deficit, a lot of protein and vegetables, etc. I mean, duh. I asked him why he felt like telling me this, and he admitted that my husband told him I have been struggling with weight loss, which I haven't. I thanked him and said I actually am not on a diet right now. Later we were eating a dessert that I had made, and this idiot said, "You might want to cut down on sugar and carbs if you want to lose weight." I saw red. I told him I don't need his useless advice. Everyone knows this, and it's actually common sense. And not to mention that I'm a literal doctor and probably know more about biochemistry of metabolism than him. I admit now that I was maybe unnecessarily rude, but I was furious with him for giving me advice when I didn't ask, especially on a sensitive topic. After they left, my husband told me I was an asshole for lashing out at a friend who had just wanted to help and whose help he had asked. He also said his friends who are dietitians and dentists don't like being compared to doctors and hearing that their profession is useless. I never said it's useless, it's just not needed by me and definitely not when I didn't ask for advice. We have been sleeping separately this whole week and he refuses to talk to me unless I apologize to his friend. So, am I the asshole? Edit. English isn't my first language and I just noticed that I have spelled dietitian wrong in the title. Darn. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I might be the asshole for implying that this guy's expertise isn't needed and for being rude to him. Nah, OP, you're not the asshole. Your husband's a huge asshole, though, and the dietitian is like a 50% asshole. He's kind of like an unwitting asshole. My guess is that he's the obsessive type, so when he latched on to what he perceived as your relationship issue, he couldn't let it go. So, yeah, I'm going to give him 50% asshole, and I'm going to give your husband 100% asshole, and you are 0% asshole, so not the asshole, OP. So yeah, don't talk about women's weight, guys. Stop that. It's making us all look bad. I'm sick of that. No more of that. Just don't talk about people's bodies unless they specifically ask you about them. And even then, be cautious, boys. Just be cautious. Alright, so that's about all I have to say about that. Just stop talking about people's bodies. That's all I have to say. And we're going to move on to the comments from the post. Temporary Badger says, not the asshole, but you do not have a problem with the rude dietitian. You have a problem with your massive controlling asshole of a husband. He needs to quit this stuff immediately and get out of your life. Edit to add, since I'm getting a lot of comments about this, the dietitian is absolutely an asshole. I just don't want OP to waste time fretting about some jerk she barely knows, when the really big problem in her life right now is her so-called partner. Judge Jude AITA says, in increasing order, OP not the asshole. You politely rebuffed unsolicited advice, and then quite understandably ramped up the response the second time around. Dietitian, medium asshole, maybe not for the first comment, but for certain for the follow-up. Husband, massive a-hole. Pre-op Trans Centaur says, all this over 10 pounds? 10 pounds was the difference between being sexually appealing and not? Between legs being too thick and not? Man, screw these freaking guys, not the asshole. Neurotic Baker responds to that saying, also, OP has been a doctor over the absolute traumatic garbage show that has been the past 3 years and only kept it to 10 pounds? Christ alive. Most of the people I know have bigger body changes than that as a result of working from home and gyms being closed, without being healthcare workers. Crap, dude. This has me reeling. As far as I'm concerned, OP is well within her rights to pick up a freaking cigar habit and blow some of her paycheck on a horse race every weekend. What reality is this bozo living in? Alright guys, that's it for that story and comments. Why don't you let me know what you thought down in the comments below, and we will move on to the next story, which was posted by C-Shirt7883. Am I the asshole for starving and poisoning my friend's kids? I, 24 female, have been a vegetarian for 10 years, and I find that Indian food has some of the best vegetarian dishes, so that is what my diet mostly consists of, although I do love cooking vegetarian food from different cuisines as well. So, for the past month or so, after my friend, 36 female, started a new job, I have been looking after her kids, 6 male, 7 male, and 9 male, from 11:30 to 4, Monday to Friday, as she works from 12 to 8 p.m. and her husband, 42 male, from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., and they can't afford childcare. I don't take any money from them for this, as I know they both work minimum wage jobs and do struggle, so I'm happy to help out where I can. During the time the kids are with me, they have lunch and a snack. Since I'm cooking for everyone, I usually do Indian and vegetarian, although I do tone down the spices for lunch since they are kids. And for a snack, I give them fruits, chips, sandwiches with juice and milk. The kids love the food and always leave a clean plate, and the older one usually goes in for seconds as well. I have had no issues so far. Well, yesterday my friend came over to my house and started berating me for starving her children and poisoning them by not feeding them normal food with meat in it. She demanded that I start cooking them proper food with meat, only using salt, pepper, and garlic, or she would call CPS on me for child abuse and neglect. Apparently her kids now don't want to eat the food she and her husband cook and say that it's bland, and keep asking for my food and that it's all my fault. I refused and told my friend that I will no longer be able to watch her children, and now she's even angrier with me. And both her and her husband are calling me an asshole and saying that they don't have any other childcare options. It's not a question of being able to afford the meat, as I work from home as a software developer and have a lot of free time throughout the day as well. But the food I cook has plenty of protein, carbs, and fats, and all other macros, and the children have never asked for meat either. Am I the asshole, and should I just buy meat and let the kids make like ham and cheese sandwiches for lunch? I feel guilty that they will struggle to pay for childcare if I don't take care of the kids. Edit to add. Adding this since I'm being asked this question a lot. The kids are not in regular school during that time. Their parents took them out due to a few months ago due to COVID cases still being high, and it being impossible to have kids social distancing. They are being homeschooled is what I've been told. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. I may be the asshole here for refusing to take care of the kids anymore since the parents will struggle to find childcare that they can afford. OP, you're not the asshole, and do not take care of those kids anymore at all. Don't let them into your home. Do not be around them unsupervised. End of story. End your relationship with those children. The parents starting to call CPS on you. You're done with them. That's an end, because you're going to put your own kid at risk. Alright, so, and you're going to put your own life at risk. And, I mean, when you're talking about, like, child neglect, like, those kind of charges, they stick with you. Even if they're not true, they stick with you. So, yeah, no, OP, you're not the asshole. Cut them off completely. They played a stupid game, they won a stupid prize, now they have to figure out childcare. I'm sure that they have another friend that they can mooch off of, or a family member, or whatever. So end this, OP. You are definitely not the asshole. Your two friends there, or your friend and her husband, they're enormous assholes. I mean, why couldn't she have just asked you for a recipe? Honestly. That's what she should have done. Hey, can I get that recipe? Hey, can I put meat in this as well? Hey, can I use this recipe to cook some chicken or some beef or some pork? And you go, yeah, you can use it to cook whatever. You know, this didn't have to be. This didn't have to be what it was. This didn't have to be a nuclear. And honestly, this post kind of belongs in Entitled Parents, OP, and you should repost it in Entitled Parents because I think that thread would get a huge kick out of it. So OP, you're not the asshole. And we are going to move on to the comments from the post. DCK133 says, what does she think CPS will do to her babysitter if she calls them? The worst that will happen is that they will say you can't babysit them anymore. Talk about cutting off your nose to spite your face. Not the asshole. Keep cooking what you want. Fake Mona Lisa says, the only way you would be an asshole is if you were to continue to let yourself be taken advantage of by these people. Their lack of preparation in finding suitable childcare is not your problem. Another user responds to that saying, I'm also slightly confused on the lack of finding suitable childcare. Aren't all of these kids school age? Upstairs Series 5032 says, not the asshole. While I'm not a vegetarian, I don't think vegetarian food is starving her kids since you're saying the food you cook still has plenty of protein, etc. Sounds like she just is jealous that her kids like your cooking better than hers. OP responds to that saying, there is definitely all the macros needed for the body. I am also very into health and fitness and go to the gym regularly, so it's important for me as well to have enough protein, carbs, and fats. Capricorn 2 says, once they threatened you with CPS, this moved beyond a squabble about food, but to an issue with legal consequences. You were right to cut them off from you providing them with free childcare. Talk about looking a gift horse in the mouth. Not the asshole, you are a good person. Do not let them change you. And their problems are not your problems. Do not inherit them from a sense of guilt. They took advantage of you. Alright guys, that's all the stories we have for today. Let me know what you thought about all of them down in the comments below. Love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and that notification bell too if you feel like it. It really does help out the channel. I am so grateful for you guys spending your time with me today. You know, this 20 minutes to half an hour really means the world to me. I love you all, and I hope you guys have a great day. Alright guys, have a good one. Bye.